Hello and welcome to Poland Daily. We're on an excursion to the city of Łódź. It's right in the center of the country. Known as the Polish Manchester, it's a city of art and industry. And that's where we are for this series of episodes. Łódź is famous for factories making all kinds of things, as we'll see. In its heyday, it supplied textiles to the whole of Europe. In post-World War II Poland, Łódź also became a factory of dreams. It was the site of the Warsaw Film School at Łódź, and it earned the city the sobriquet of Hollywood. That's right, the Hollywood of Poland. The film school produced such top talents as Roman Polanski, Andrzej Wajda, and Krzysztof Kieślowski, and many others, as we'll see. There are more superlatives in this city, about 75 miles southwest of Warsaw, the capital. Łódź boasts the largest shopping center in Poland, Manufaktura. It's made out of an old factory complex. That's the largest shopping center in Poland. It also boasts the longest pedestrian street in the country, Piotrkowska, where you will find all manner of restaurants, clubs, and just about everything else you'd expect on a pedestrian street, including a statue of Arthur Rubinstein, the famous pianist who was from Łódź. And the pièce de résistance, marrying both technology and art, is the Science and Technology Museum next to the railway station. This is a world-class museum. It looks like something that belongs in the Smithsonian Institution. It's interactive and impressive. That's Łódź, and that's where we are on Poland Daily Travel, your destination for perhaps the best travel about Poland you'll find anywhere. Poland Daily Travel. Like us on YouTube and like us on Facebook. We like you. Watch us now. Well, here we are. We're at the Łódź Film School. You can see because it's written right here in Polish. What does it say?
Leon Schiller.
Yeah.
In the name of.
In the name of Leon Schiller.
In Łódź.
Read it in Polish. What does it say?
Państwowa Wyższa Szkoła Filmowa, Telewizyjna i Teatralna imienia Leona Schillera w Łodzi.
Okay, which means the people's, or the national school of
Higher education of film, television, and theater in the name of Leon Schiller.
Who was the guy who started this?
Yeah.
He was
in
a famous
1948, was
1948. That's exactly right. So that makes this one of the oldest film schools in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
I think in the old days they didn't really have film schools. Because, I mean, did Charlie Chaplin go to a film school? I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
Did Jimmy Stewart, the actor, did he go to a film school?
Did Audrey Hepburn go?
No, Audrey Hepburn was a model. Boy, I can use all my celebrity knowledge now.
I'm good at that.
People watching this are going, who's Audrey Hepburn? They have no idea. I don't even think Polish people know who Leon Schiller is unless they're in the school. But anyway, the Łódź Film School. Oh, right. Here's a famous director. It's
Wojciech Has.
Yeah. Wojciech Has. He's one of the famous Polish directors. But here's the thing. After the war, in World War II, this school was started to promote Polish film, not just within the Soviet Union, of which Poland was a satellite, but within the world at large. So, within a very short time, you have the Polish School of Film emerging from this actual film school, Łódź.
And it was supposed to be in Warsaw first, right? And then
it was supposed to be in Warsaw.
Łódź, yeah.
That's right. And they called it the National Film School of Warsaw in Łódź, didn't they? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot that. So, but anyway, at any rate, you had a number of extremely famous directors who came out of this film school. Among them, Andrzej Wajda, Andrzej Monk, I believe it was Andrzej, but certainly Monk with the last name, and Roman Polanski, and eventually Krzysztof Kieślowski.
As well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and a number of others. I think Agnieszka Holland, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't swear to it. But I believe so. I believe Krzysztof
Makes sense.
Zanussi. Yeah. I think if you're really famous, you probably went to the Łódź Film School. So the Polish school was created out of this new reality in Poland at the time, which is a post-Republic, post-Nazi occupation, and during a Soviet occupation of the country. But still, filmmakers concentrated as much as they could on representing the Polish history and Polish culture from the early 20th century. I mean, we see particularly Andrzej Wajda's trilogy of films, Generation and Ashes and Diamonds, and what was the other one called? Canal. So it was Generation, Canal, and Ashes and Diamonds, which as a trio of films gives people an idea of what happened during World War II. It's following the Home Army, and then particularly Ashes and Diamonds, I suppose, is the most famous of the films, starring Zbigniew Cybulski, who was the greatest Polish actor, as you know, of this time. He was called the Polish James Dean.
Really? I didn't know that.
He was called that. I remember the first time I saw Ashes and Diamonds was a screening that was organized when I used to be a film journalist. So
was that in Poland?
It was in Poland, yeah, and it was a screening at Film Polski, and I saw a bunch of films over several days. And I could just stay there as long as I wanted and order the films, which was very nice. So I had a chance to really see the library. And one of the film that amazed me the most was Ashes and Diamonds, but not just me, because this is a favorite film of Francis Ford Coppola. It is a favorite film of Martin Scorsese.
Really?
Yes. In fact, when I did an interview with Francis Ford Coppola at his vineyard in Napa Valley, I noticed in the gift shop there were very few CDs there, but one that was there was of Ashes and Diamonds.
Wow.
So it was important enough to him to have it in his gift shop. Okay, so these some seminal films were made out of this school. Of course, Roman Polanski's Knife in the Water. That's a film that came from his inspiration in this school. Perhaps his most famous film of the early, his very famous film of the early days is Three Men in a Wardrobe, or Two Men in a Wardrobe. I can't remember how many men were with the wardrobe, but it's an important film that he made, I believe, when he was finishing school, which signaled his future greatness. Okay, we're going to come back with a little more. We're going to walk through a little bit of the film school, and you can ask me some questions, you know,
sure.
about
Why not?
I don't know the answer probably.
Let's try.
But you could ask me questions. No, but about film.
Let's try.
Not about you know, how far it is to the sun or something, because I don't know. Yeah.
Your favorite type of movies.
Yeah, my favorite type of movie. We'll be right back. Poland Daily Travel. We're in Łódź, and we're at the film school. These stairs could talk. I'm sure they could tell a lot of stories, because there's a lot of famous directors, actors, people that have gone up and down them, you know.
Have you interviewed any of those directors who studied here?
In fact, I have. Well, Andrzej Wajda a couple of times, who died a couple of years ago. Krzysztof Kieślowski, actually. When I was writing for Variety, I interviewed him on a number of occasions. And of course, he was very famous for his films, the trilogy, Red, White, and Blue, and for Double Life of Veronica. Remember that film?
Mm-hmm.
And for the...
A short story about love also.
Yes, a short story about love, a short story about murder, that's right, which was called, it was called the Decalogue, or the Ten Commandments in English,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And Kieślowski was an amazing guy, a very shy man, I found, you know, but extremely, he had a wonderful abstract way of looking at things, and he was a very, very sweet guy, actually, I found. He really, really enjoyed. I had a long conversation with him about the double life of Veronica, because I really liked that film, you know. I thought it was very interesting how there's one central character, and then she has a doppelganger, another character which is in a different place. Did you remember the film?
Yeah.
Did you like it? What did you think of it?
I did like it, yeah, it was interesting. All of his movies are actually great, or were great, because he already died quite a long time ago. But I think he is one of my favorite directors.
Yeah, he was not only amazing as a director, but I think as a person, he was a really fascinating man to talk to. And as I say, very self-effacing, very modest, which brings to my mind Witold Sobocinski. Now, his son, Peter Sobocinski, was filming. He was a DP, director of photography, for some of those, if not all of those, the trilogy films. So maybe some of the others, I don't remember. But I know he was in the trilogy. And of course, he died while making a film in Alaska in 2001 or 2. That's Peter Sobocinski. But Witold Sobocinski was one of the original jazz men. I mean, he's the patron saint, really, of this place. We didn't see his picture out in that hallway, but some others weren't there too. But Mr. Sobocinski, to me, but Witold Sobocinski to everyone else, I once interviewed him. And he was a fantastic jazz musician in the early days of the 50s, and he was also a brilliant cameraman who worked with a number of Hollywood, on a number of Hollywood movies, a number of great Polish films.
So he was a musician and a cameraman?
That's right. And he was one of the first people to be able to play jazz, because jazz was considered some bourgeois, you know, American type of music. Of course, jazz is anything but bourgeois, but that's the way the communists were portraying it. Jazz is a music of the streets, of course. The classic working man's up by his own bootstraps kind of intellectual, you know, riff. It's anything but bourgeois. But you know, how are you going to please Stalin in the 50s? Anyway, Witold Sobocinski, an amazing guy. And another great figure here. I believe he was rector here. Cameraman, was he rector here? Witold Sobocinski? I believe he was, yeah. Cameraman.
Didn't say anything.
He's shrugging. I won't name him. He asked me not to name him, so I won't.
Please don't.
Anyway, could go on forever. We're here sitting on these steps where so many people have walked up and down who've made the great Polish films. Any other questions?
Maybe for later.
Maybe for later?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go take a walk.
Sure.
Okay, Poland Daily Travel. Stick with us.